Hey folks, here doing another video. Finally got these lifters for this big Mopar, and I want to go over how to check these. So since there's so many of these problems lately, I just got these comp cams in. And by the way, comp cams doesn't make their own lifters anymore. They're only made by two companies in the world, offshore, or I don't know, someplace up in northern USA. So here's a face on these guys. We can get a focus on that maybe. Get swirl polish. So if you don't know, flat tappets have a slight crown here. Okay, this might be why some of these are failing so much. So I'm going to show you how to check that quick with just using a flat surface. So first off here, let me look at show you. This is an old set of Ultradynes I have that are still in pretty good shape. These never had that swirled surface. These have been run through a couple different engines actually. 620 lift flat tappet Ultradyne. This is a mechanical cam, it's not hydraulic. You see the construction's different. There's no snap ring in these. I think they're just machined solid. You can see this has a snap ring in it and holds a little cap because you can hear them. Not this particular one, but the other one, some you can hear shake. So, yeah, different surface finish. I don't know if this will wear eventually or what, but when you get these, make sure you measure every aspect of them. Measure the width. I mean, the length doesn't have to be super critical because they're adjustable, but you should know that length. These all seem to measure 903, and let me get that one out of the way. They're 904 tappets, so there's like 1,000ths clearance built in there. So here's how I measure, make sure they have a crown. So I was told by a machinist guy, and I didn't really have a good flat surface, so I said, well, the head has a good flat surface, so you put them on here, and since they have a crown, very, very slight crown, you can hold them and they'll tip a little bit. You can feel that they have, you know, a high spot in the center. Now it's not a cone, it's supposed to be a good curved radius, but you can also clamp them in a caliper and look at them through the light, and you'll see a little bit of a gap on each edge that kind of diminishes towards the center. That's not that great though. It's hard to see. Some calipers aren't perfect. But this, you can definitely tell it's not flat. So, unless there's other more technical ways with more specialized measuring stuff. But after you do that, I'd use the driven on them again. If I was doing a big block, I'd get 2 packages of this. You definitely have more than enough at that point. I have enough to do 1 big block with this, but I don't like having to really creep it out of there, you know, get the very last bit. I like to have extra. So make sure they spin in the bore too. Oh, I almost fell on my ass. You know, make sure they're free in the bore. I know this block doesn't have any issues like that because I've run it, but you never know, you might have a weird lifter. Make sure those spin by your finger. And yeah, you can have these resurfaced too. So I'm going to keep these. I'm going to put them in this comp box and keep these old Ultradynes. I might have to have them redone someday, the way things look, you know. But I thought you guys would appreciate that. Quality control these things. Check them. I did notice one of the chamfers on the edges of these. One of them was quite a bit greater than the other 15. But I mean, it wasn't something that I think would make it cause an issue. So, and I questioned my guy about it too. So there you go. We should have this. We should have some good progress on this guy today, since I finally got these. Apparently at this time frame, Summit has no idea when they'll, or not Summit, I'm sorry. This is where I got these. Summit had some in stock. I waited 4 months from comp cams for a set of these, and Summit had them to me in 2 days because they had them on the shelf. But comp cams doesn't know when they're getting more, and they don't have any yet, so couldn't tell me anything. I was not impressed with their phone line. I waited 2.5 hours on hold with these people at comp. That's just not acceptable. You know, I like the products, but their customer service is shit. They need to hire people and get that taken care of. All right, guys, later.